I'm sure you've heard me jibber jabber about HOAs. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not exactly what you would call an HOA enthusiast in most cases. And I just saw a wacky story from Inside Edition about a woman whose father unfortunately passed away and in his will left her his house. His house is situated in a community of 55 plus residents, and she is 28. They fucking hate her. They are coming for her scalp. They are doing everything they can to force her out of the home that she legally, rightfully owns.
It's a popular retirement community in Florida. The rule, you have to be 55 and older to live there. But this 28-year-old calls it home and doesn't want to move. As Allison Hall reports, the board is now voting to determine her fate.
That's right. Her life hangs in the balance in the palm of the hands of the Council of Octogenarians. They will be judge, jury, and executioner on the fate of the home that she owns legally. Now, I decided to do a little digging into this because I am familiar with these retirement communities. They're very common here in Florida. And there is like a law on their side about like basically gatekeeping anyone that's not like a certain age, like in their fucking twilight years, from purchasing the homes. But what I can't find is a case like this where the home is passed down to someone under that threshold. They legally own it. That is an irrefutable fact. That is her home. She is entitled to that home, but what I can't find is if she's allowed to live there, which is a crazy statement, by the way, that's even up for debate, like that's up in the ether there, like this nebulous idea of if she's even able to live in the home she owns because of the HOA rules and like the law in place about fair housing or whatever. But I can't find anything specific about it. So what I would do is I'd employ common sense. It's her fucking home. If she wants to live there, she should be able to, even if she's not 55 years old. I feel like that shouldn't be a highly disputed take there. For example, I was eating off the 55 plus menu at Perkins since I was in middle school, because that's where they hid the potato pancakes, those sick bastards. The best item on the Perkins menu was reserved for just the 55 plus year olds. Well, what about me, a fucking spring chicken? Why can't I have access to those potato pancakes? And Perkins understood that there's no reason to enforce that with such a heavy hand like the Iron Fist. So they would let me order those potato pancakes even though I was visibly, very clearly not 55 unless I was goddamn Benjamin Button. And they never ID'd me or anything for it. So like to me this feels like it should be pretty open and shut if she's not like a noisy, disruptive neighbor that's, you know, taking the piss out of the old timers here or something, going up and, you know, giving them wet willies and teasing them and knocking over their walkers or whatever. Then there should be no issue. And they even have like a meeting here where other neighbors chirp up and say that she is not a problem at all and it's ridiculous they're even having the meeting, and yet it still goes tits up anyway.
It's a beautiful village of 155 homes, with one catch. You have to be at least 55 years old. Now some residents want this woman out, saying she's just too young to live there.
I'm 100% being forced out.
Bethany Michelle's father, Paul, bought a home in Freedom at Arbor Mill in Jacksonville, Florida in 2019.
Ironic that the name of this community here is Freedom at Arbor Mill, when what they're demonstrating here is a complete lack of freedom here and forcing this woman out because she inherited a house in this village and she is too young for it, deemed by the elders.
She moved in to care for the ailing vet when he took a turn for the worse.
He was a really high-risk patient. He was terminally ill. He was on dialysis.
Her dad died in 2023, and in his will, he bequeathed her the house. Weeks later, she says the Homeowners Association sent her this document, stating each occupied home shall at all times be occupied by at least one person 55 years of age or older. Bethany is 28.
Fucking vultures were just waiting for the opportunity to send her that notice. They were just sitting there salivating, scratching at their necks. This is the most exciting thing they've had happen to them in decades. They get to stir some shit here. Force this woman out. Let her know that they're coming for her. So they send her that letter about how she can't be there because as per the guidelines, per the rules here of the sacred HOA, you've got to have at least one resident of 55 years or older in order to live there. So now the gauntlet has been dropped because she is not 55 and she's living there. The gall, the chutzpah, for her to be living in the house she owns. Not on their watch.
The Homeowners Association held a special meeting to decide what to do.
I didn't buy here to put up with people under 55. We all bought here for peace and quiet to enjoy the better days of our life.
There were also residents supporting Bethany.
This person has not given us one moment heartburn. I don't even know she's here.
This meeting here reminds me of this scene in Lord of the Rings when the Ints start deliberating on the path forward and what they're going to do. So they've all come together here, and one guy pipes up saying, you know, we came here for peace and quiet. We didn't buy a house here to put up with anyone under 55. Okay, buddy. And then another guy comes up, and he is like very reasonable. He's like, I had no idea she was even here. She's given us no moments of heartburn, is how he puts it. But what he's basically saying is that she hasn't been trouble. She hasn't been like a noisy, disruptive, troublesome neighbor that's causing an issue or a ruckus. And then the sizable amount of people here like start cheering, saying like, yeah, what are we doing? So like, it sounds reasonable. It sounds positive. Like, okay, maybe it's only a few bad apples here, a few like real sour, miserable assholes that are making a mountain out of a molehill, because it feels like the overwhelming amount, based on the response to him going up there and defending her, is they don't mind her being there. She's not a problem. And yet, it's...
Then the vote was taken, and the board voted 5-0. Bethany has to go.
But subverting your expectations based on what you see in the meeting from the people supporting her, turns out it's unanimous. She's got to get the fuck out of there. She's got to take a hike. She's got to go. And you know they're going to sink the Pinkertons on her now. It's serious. This has now become DEFCON emergency. We got to get the 28-year-old out of the 55-plus community. We don't care if it's actually her home and she legally owns it. She can't live in it, because we don't want to put up with someone under 55. It's outrageous to even suggest such a thing. Us, around someone under 55, not around these parts, Buster. The HOA won't have it, and we're about to get pugilistic.
It's time for her to leave.
74-year-old Teresa Beaver lives on the same street as Bethany. Her daughter Jessica wonders why Bethany wants to live here.
I don't understand personally why a 28-year-old would want to live with people that are over 55. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Miss Beaver, if I may, did you just blow in from Stupid Town? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? She inherited a house. Do you know how hard it is to get a house these days? Like, it is not an easy thing to just go buy your first fucking house or something like that. So the fact that she has this now, yeah, it's something she probably doesn't want to part with. And it's not like these 55-year-olds are living with her. They're not roommates. They're not sharing the same home together under the same roof. Who gives a fuck if your neighbors are 55, 80, 90-year-old fossils? Who cares? She has a nice home here in a quiet community that it doesn't have to be 55 plus to appreciate. I love the peace and quiet. Like, I think that's great. I don't care if my neighbors are ancient. It doesn't matter to me if they're prehistoric at all. Much like I imagine it doesn't matter to her being 28 that her neighbors are older. It's not like she's out there constantly mingling, and it's not like they're in the same fucking roof, so who cares? She has a nice home that she inherited that no doubt has sentimental value to her because it's her father's home that she was living with. And clearly her father meant a lot to her. So it's not exactly something she'd be super gung-ho to part with. There's a million reasons why she wouldn't want to just pack her things and move out just because she's surrounded by 55-year-olds and beyond. That's such a stupid argument. Well, why would you even want to live here? You don't fit in. She has a beautiful home in a nice area. Her neighbors are old, so what? Like, it doesn't matter. She is not doing anything wrong. She's not disrupting them, as is pretty evident from the meeting there, where people were very much on her side, even talking about how she's not a problem. So why should she have to pack her things and go just because your mom's got a stick up her ass and so many people in this community are just fucking miserable? Like, that's not her problem. It shouldn't be her problem, at least. But they're making it her problem because, of course, the High Council of Elders, they've come together 5-0 to put the smack down on this.
I have a right and every right to stay in my home.
The board voted to hire an attorney to force Bethany out. Now, all 155 homeowners must cough up $1,000 each to pay the legal bill, and that, ironically, includes Bethany herself.
I laughed out loud when I heard that. I am so glad Inside Edition shared that little tidbit of lore with me there at the end as like a post-credit scene where Nick Fury recruits someone to the Avengers. I didn't expect that at all. This is some certified platinum geriatric misery right here. So they want her out so bad that now they are requiring all 155 residents to cough up 1,000 clams each to contribute to the legal fund to fight against this 28-year-old in their community to force her out of the home she legally owns. That's fucking wild. That's cinema. That is actually cinema. They are so miserable that now they are forcing the residents to cough up so much money for this shit when a lot of them don't even want to do that. At least based on what I've seen there in the meeting. And it also means that she also has to put up the money now because the HOA just has the power to force you to pay for things that you don't even want to pay for because you're part of an HOA community now and they basically own your house for you. They get to tell you what you can do with your own property and what you have to spend your money on by their bylaws there at the HOA. I've yapped so much about the HOA, I'm going to refrain from going too crazy on it right now. It's just so comical to see some shit like this. So now they're all down $1,000 each to pay for this massive legal bill that they are footing to force a 28-year-old out of her home. One that's not even like a problem to a lot of the residents, but some of them are just so bored, lame, and angry all the time, just that they now take it upon themselves. They've made it their mission to get her the fuck out of the community because she's not 55 or older. Whatever, man. It's so silly. I think it's so outrageous. Ultimately, I hope she wins and gets to stay living there while the neighbors seethe about it. Oh, that would be glorious. Anyway, just wanted to yap about it a bit. That's it. See ya.